We've been asked to film our reviews, is that the right word?
Yeah, sort of like review, feedback. We've been asked by Dr. Emma Reinhold to give our feedback on the EDS Toolkit.
Okay.
There's a lot of information in this toolkit.
And it's aimed at the GP to GP.
Yeah.
So it's from GP, happens to have EDS, to GPs, so they can have an understanding of what the whole spectrum of EDS and all of the different variants.
Yes.
But with a main focus of the hypermobile.
Yes.
Because I believe that's what the doctor has too.
Yeah, and also I think because HEDS is the one that's least diagnosed.
Yeah, because there's no genetic.
Because there's no they don't know why you get it. There's no genetic evidence of why you get it. So I think that's why they've done it about hypermobile, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and hypermobility syndrome disorder. And I think it's also not only for GPs. I think it's generally for medical practitioners.
So I saw commissioners in there for training and exercise in there. It's a very thorough document.
Very.
With lots of links into, if you're not understanding what they're talking about, there's a link to kind of explain it a bit more, because there are some standard words that we use now as EDSers that isn't a common word.
Like subluxating.
Yeah.
People be like, what's that?
Huh? What do you mean? It kind of comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's quite a few links on every part of the toolkit, and I think if somebody does have a patient or is working with someone who does have EDS, they'll definitely get a fuller picture of what that patient may be going through, and even if that patient don't even know what they're going through. It talks about to notice signs in children and the different levels of conditions, like the stomach, what to do with your gut, to not just focused on pain, but there's other areas.
All of the associated symptoms and conditions that come. My feedback is that it's very thorough, very informative. I think it's good for people with and without EDS. It's good for their, it would be helpful for possibly their family to read if necessary, or partners, friends, it is very in-depth, so it really is for the medical practitioner. Some of the words, some people just wouldn't even understand because it's medical jargon, but I think it will definitely serve its purpose if practitioners take the time to read it. For me, what I liked about it as well, I think one of the things that stood out for me in particular was the mention of to not just dismiss people. Not just dismiss them as being hypochondriacs, not to dismiss children as just having growing pains. I think those things really stood out for me. Those things actually made me kind of smile inside, if that makes sense, because I guess for me, because of my experiences over the years from childhood of being dismissed and being made to feel like I was making it up and it was all in my head. So definitely I think that would make such a big difference if practitioners took the time to read it. I think it could be really instrumental in helping to get people diagnosed, in not causing a patient to feel like they're a hypochondriac or that they are some abnormal human being.
Because even they said people with Munchausen.
Yes.
So they might have been wrongly diagnosed with that, because they know what's going on with them, even if your genetic test can't show it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. And I also like the fact that that's what he was talking about as well in the patient's lived experiences, where it talks about you don't know what you're going to be from 1 week to the next. So what a medical practitioner might advise you, whether it be a physio or GP or whatever, might advise you to do this week, and you might be able to do it. But next week, you might not be able to do it. So I just think it's a really good toolkit, to be honest. If it's read, it can be very, very beneficial. But it is I mentioned it actually to my GP I didn't see my usual GP. I saw a different GP on Monday, and I mentioned it to him, and his response was, "Oh yeah, I'll add that to my long list of things that I need to read." And I'm sure that doctors do have a lot of stuff that they need to read.
Yeah.
But if I was a patient who didn't know how to manage my EDS and have an understanding of what is going on, that would upset me.
Yeah. Just hearing it upsets me.
Right.
I believe that out of the collective of doctors that I've got at my GP surgery, I would have to be very selective over what doctor I recommend to read that. Because one GP I know in particular, they're not reading it. It's not happening. No,
Yeah.
it's not happening, not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe a particular GP if you get them at the right moment. Because obviously it's like, hey, who wants to do homework? I've seen them Google whatever you do when you come in. Yeah, and it's quick and fast, in minutes.
Yeah.
It's ticking away.
And fair enough, they're not going to do it while you're sitting there in the surgery.
No, it's not.
But it is. But then on the flip side of that, when I go to see my osteopath, and the student that I see, and I've told her about it, the first thing she said to me was, "Where can I get the toolkit? Is it free? And where can I get it?" And she said, "I'm going to make sure that I told the tutors and the students about the toolkit." So it really does depend on the individual as well.
Because my GP's got me and an elderly man who's got EDS, my daughter and an elderly man. Our three needs are not high on her list because I don't come in there and ask her for nothing. So I can't see this particular GP wanting to learn anything new about it. She doesn't have to do anything for me anyway.
Yeah.
So it is for those ones who
are interested, basically.
That's like anything now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So I definitely think Dr. Reinhold, I do think that the EDS Toolkit is really, really great. Thank you so much for doing it, especially for those EDSers who either haven't been diagnosed, early diagnosis. I think it's absolutely fabulous.